Greetings, welcome to ANI Pluto. Let's start the video. In the last part, Satoru bounced down from the street. Seeing this, Ushio utilizes the monster lance and saves Satoru from tumbling down, yet presently June gets extremely miserable along these lines and starts crying. Ushio was additionally observing this and asks Nagari the number of young ladies a person that can prevent from crying in a lifetime. Nagari is stunned to hear this in light of the fact that Ushio had chosen to go inside Satoru. That is the reason he needs to save him, yet Nagari denies him to do so on the grounds that the monster lance will drink his spirit and Ushio will transform into a beast and he will be unable to transform into a human in the future. Yet Ushio don't have any desire to see June crying. Separated from this, at whatever point he sees somebody crying, he gets this tight inclination in his chest. Now Nagari attempts to persuade Ushio, yet Ushio still doesn't pay attention to him. All of a sudden the Mirror Master additionally comes here and sends a yokai to help Ushio, whose name was Izuna. Tells Ushio that I am a seasoned veteran of getting inside people. Then Tora shows up before him. Seeing this, Izuna's get terrified. Now Tora converses with Ushio and says, on the off chance that you are going inside, perhaps you cannot get back to being human. Yet Ushio had caused his psyche as of now Tora to believe that nothing should happen to Ushio, so he additionally chooses to go inside with him. Now Ushio begins utilizing the monster lance and tells June Satoru's body is going to flailing wildly, so hold him tight and don't give up. Ushio then go into Satoru's body with Izuna and Tora, yet June still see nothing. Nagari then lets him know that he went into your sibling's body to save him. Then again, every one of the three had come inside the body, where Satoru's organs have become exceptionally unusual. Now Izuna says we need to advance between this multitude of organs and up to the cerebrum unexpectedly, the way that you reach assault. Yet Ushio stops them all with monster stick, and after that each of the three beginning running from here onwards. Out of nowhere the veins of Satoru get them. Now due to this something begins occurring in Satoru's body, so June begins saying furiously, how is Ushio doing? Satoru then Nagari makes sense of that he will be okay, yet June has to strongly disagree. After this, Nagari says, who thinks often about Hackerman, in the event that he would disregard all of that and simply live cheerfully, he wouldn't be known as a criminal by every one of those safeguarding the lance. Yet he doesn't do that. He battles to safeguard his companions, ladies and kids, regardless of how delighted and he remains back up again. Now he is attempting to Satoru regardless of whether implies the lance takes his spirit, so it is basically impossible that he will neglect to save him. Now June is stunned to be familiar with everything. Then again Torai utilizes his lightning power and Ushio kills this yokai utilizing the monster's lance. Out of nowhere a few changes begin occurring in his arm. Seeing this, Tora comprehends that Ushio has begun changing into a beast. Still Ushio doesn't stress over anything and starts moving into Satoru's body, after which Tora and Izuna additionally follow him. Right now they were running along the spinal rope, yet there were numerous foes in front and they come to go after Ushio. Yet he couldn't care less about his body changes and goes to go after all at once. Satoru gets up and stands up. Now Hayu have controlled his whole body. He begins saying that we will eat Ushio alive inside this body and afterward assault Ushio. Now June attempts to stop Satoru, yet he goes after her. Still June attempts to stop him again. Abruptly her power begins going inside, due to which all high you are shocked. Now Ushio tells June, you don't have to cry any longer, I will get everything out of him. After this Ushio utilizes the force of monster skewer, yet presently there are changes in his other hand too. Seeing this, Tora gets stressed and Izuna tells Ushio, for what reason do you decide to battle this much? Don't you esteem your life to this? Ushio says, seems to be the day that I pay for that multitude of times I had the option to battle as a result of the monster's lance is at last here. I need to see what I truly am, since supposing that I surrendered now to take care of myself, I would truly be a beast. Unexpectedly somebody arrives at assault, yet Tora stops his assault. He then, at that point, uncovers his name as Chibakama, the person who is the head of Hayu and is controlling this body. Seeing him, Ushio goes to assault, yet Chibakama was additionally extremely strong and gives an extraordinary battle to Ushio. Chibakama then, at that point, begins asking Ushio, for what valid reason would you like to wave around the monster lance and route ruler Hackerman? Then Ushio says, I simply need to realize my mother's mysterious, you are the one going after me out of the blue. I have nothing private against Hackerman, so let me know what's Hackerman attempting to do and what will he do after the monster's brew is broken. Chibakama then, at that point, shows Hackerman to Ushio, who was looking at obliterating all that, and starts saying, I'm this world's malevolent, the sign of its contempt. Unexpectedly Ushio begins feeling that everything his power is dawn and he can't do anything. In the meantime, Chikakama goes to go after Ushio, yet Izuna comes before the assault to save Ushio. Seeing this, Ushio lashes out. Then Izuna begins saying, I generally needed to meet you since I needed to check whether you were essentially as astonishing as the head and every other person said you were. In the meantime, Chibakama comes to kill Ushio again, yet this time he stops its assault and starts saying, I said I had nothing private against Hackerman except for I was off base. He included different people, controlled them, and drove them to kill one another, so it is absolutely impossible that I could pardon him. After that, now Ushio furiously begins going after Chibakama. That is when Izuna lets Tora know that Chibakama is strong, yet there is a method for overcoming him. Now Tora tells June, if you have any desire to save Ushio and this person, do as I say. Hearing this, June gets some information about it. Then Tora says, you appear to have the ability to strike down beasts. Assemble your power and send it at Satoru in light of the fact that you are the one in particular who can do it. Now Tora tells Ushio to draw Chibakama to where it is least, demanding for profound energy to come inside. Then again, June accumulates her power. Now Ushio and Tora fall into Satoru's eye, yet Chibakama likewise comes here and understands that they are attempting to kill him with June's power. Unexpectedly, Izuna gets him so that June can undoubtedly kill him and tells Ushio that you are really great. Seeing this, Ushio needs to save Izuna, yet Tora stops him in light of the fact that June can utilize her power whenever. Yet Ushio blows up on the grounds that he doesn't need any other person to bite the dust as a result of him, so he begins utilizing Monster's Lance without thinking anything and goes to save Izuna. All at once, June utilizes her power and Ushio likewise goes after with Monster Stick, after which Chibakama is obliterated and Ushio saves Izuna too. Yet presently these three can't make a special effort of the eye. Then again, Satoru recovers cognizance and June turns out to be exceptionally close to home on seeing him fine. Satoru thanks to June since he thinks June has saved his life. Then June tells that not me but rather Ushio and Tora saved your life, yet Ushio Tora actually hadn't emerged, so Satoru likewise gets profound and begins saying the facts really confirm that I was desirous of Ushio in light of the fact that he had the monster skewer. That is the way the how you got to me, but Ushio put his life in danger for somebody like me. That is the point at which his tears fall, and due to this Ushio, Tora, and Izuna come out. Nagari turns out to be exceptionally glad to see Ushio looking great. After this, June begins telling Satoru, when I was 8 you saved me, yet I didn't intend to holler in those days. This time I needed to say thank you. Then Satoru says, I have heard you expressing that. After this, Nagari tells Ushio, you asked how frequently in a lifetime might a person at any point prevent a young lady from crying, yet for your situation it is presumably all around as numerous as you need. And presently, concerning being a picked replacement for the monster skewer, I'm out. Abruptly the monster's lance begins polishing off Ushio's spirit and Ushio totally transforms into a beast. Everybody gets amazed on seeing this. Then again, individuals of the organization are discussing Ushio. That is the point at which a woman comes here and the head says she is the pioneer behind the group. After this, the organizer tells Ushio has begun changing into a beast. Everybody gets stressed on hearing this. Then again, Ushio begins going after Tora too. Seeing this, Tora begins saying to Ushio, what are you doing? Don't you know who I'm here? The head tells the pioneer no man transformed into a monster has at any point had the option to get back to being human, so what will we do? The organizer then at that point requested that the head utilize the brush. However, the head couldn't comprehend his point. The organizer then makes sense of the cone that I gave over to you and you gave over to Samako, which Ushio now has. Hearing this, the head comprehends the entire matter. Now the pioneer says, I will go to the young ladies who should utilize the look over, yet you should look for a strong cleric. Then the head says, you generally show up and vanish like the breeze. Then the organizer says, let us get some margin to chat sometime or another as we did in the past. After this, the pioneer vanishes from here and all of a sudden Ushio's dad Sweet comes here, who is a strong minister. Now the pioneer goes individually to that multitude of young ladies whom Ushio had met. After this, she likewise goes to Nakamura and Dino. Then Nakamura asks, who are you? The pioneer lets them know, I'm GMA, yet I never again exist in this world. All of a sudden Nakamura sees that GMA seems to be sufficient. Now GMA tells them Ushio is at present in a hazardous circumstance. He has utilized the force of the monster's lance to save many resides, but sense of that his body and soul have been surpassed by the monster's lance, and he is changed into a genuine beast. Both are stunned to hear this. Then GMA tells there is just a single method for returning him to his human structure. The ones who have attaches with him should become as one and brush his hair. After this, GMA asks, would you like to accompany me? The two of them prepare. On hearing this, all of a sudden Reiko comes to get them. Then again, Nagari and others attempt to stop Ushio with the assistance of obstruction, yet Ushio effectively breaks the boundary and starts pursuing away. This niggery begins heading off to some place with Satoru. Then Satoru gets some information about this, after which Nagari tells Ushio's granddad's home is in Asahikawa. That is where Ushio was intending to go, yet Tora and Izuna were additionally going with them. Here Saya comes to the air terminal where Hayama likewise came simultaneously. Shigeru comes to get them, and afterward the other three young ladies additionally come here. Now Shigeru lets them know, I am Ushio's dad, and I might want to request all from you to assist with saving Ushio. On hearing this, everybody prepares for it, yet this is where we see that man too, who came to Japan from China to find the beast. Now Nagari and the others come to the sanctuary where Hinoa had likewise come. She lets them know there is a cavern that the wielder of the monster skewer should enter. That is the reason Ushio is certainly going towards that cave, on the grounds that the people who enter the cavern and return out alive can really be considered the legitimate wielder of the lance. Then again Ushio was crazy and begun killing all the yokai who preceded him. Seeing this, Ushio's spirit needs to quit doing this since his body was killing blameless, yet he had no control over his body. All at once a woman comes before him. Seeing this, Ushio gets stressed, yet some way or another recovers her. Now he comprehends that this body expects to kill every one of the people and yokai it can find, yet he was unable to comprehend where his body was pursuing this. His body takes the name of Kamuikotan, and yet Hakuman orders his gathering of Hayu to wipe out both Ushio and Monster Stick. Now an enormous gathering of yokai begins following Ushio to kill him. Unexpectedly Ushio sees somebody who was making monsters brew furiously, and during this he was likewise utilizing his discharge. After this he begins saying, very much like numerous before, you will have your spirit eaten up by the monster's lance, become a beast, and he hauled along as the lance looks for the terrible hackerman. Now Ushio gets stunned hearing this and asks, who are you, and for what valid reason do you disdain hackerman? Yet the man blows up and says, I don't recall about it, happened quite a while back. Then again everybody has accumulated on a scaffold in Kamuikotan. Shigeru states the opportunity has arrived to complete the mysterious level of the Quame faction, which is to safeguard the monster's lance. We should return Ushio's spirit to him and check whether he genuinely merits being the replacement. All at once they see the gathering of Hayu coming here, so they comprehend that Ushio is additionally coming toward this path. Now Shigeru lets everybody know that right now Ushio is unequipped for setting up a fair battle. If you get to him, they will obliterate him alongside the monster's lance, so we should make hindrances on the mountains toward every path. After this, Satoru, Nagari, and others leave from here, while Shigeru asks Jun and Hinoa to safeguard every one of the young ladies. Shigeru then tells the young ladies, the ones in particular who can save Ushio whenever he is turned into a beast, are every one of you who have battled with him and contacted his spirit. Now he requests that Pete get the brush your gear. Then tells every one of the young ladies, on the off chance that you feel that you are in peril, if it's not too much trouble, run. Yet assuming that you feel that there is even a smallest opportunity, if it's not too much trouble, save him. After this, Sugar Beam additionally leaves from here. Then again Tora and Izuna find Ushio, who was all the while running constantly, and the brush was in his pocket. After this, Izuna goes to get the brush. During this, Ushio's hair gets him, yet Izuna still figures out how to get the brush. Then again Inoue and different young ladies are discussing Ushio, during which Nakamura says, I couldn't care less about Ushio, I only felt frustrated about him when I heard he transformed into a beast. Hearing this, Hayama lashes out and begins saying, you have no right destroying him and calling him a nitwit. You happened with your existence without a consideration, with no thought why Ushio even left. Nakamura gets profound in the wake of hearing this and starts saying, you want to simply express out loud anything you desire. It isn't as I would have rather not realized what was happening, yet he left without saying a word to anybody and transformed into a beast all alone, yet he educated me nothing. Now Shigeru and the others make a boundary and prevent Ayu from going any further. That is when Tora tells the young ladies Ushio is coming this way, after which they all see Ushio, yet Izuna likewise come to them with brush. After this, Reiko first chooses to take a stab at seeing this. Tora advises him to be cautious. Then Reiko says, if Ushio had not saved me, I wouldn't be alive. Now Izuna gives the brush to Reiko, after which Reiko runs towards Ushio, yet Ushio hits her. Still Reiko brushes Ushio's hair and tells everybody it dropped out, we could possibly transform him. In the meantime, Ushio goes to go after Saya and Hayama, yet Nakamura comes before him and recovers them. All of a sudden Tora snatches Ushio and says, let them brush your hair, yet Ushio assaults him with Monster Lance and takes Off Hinoa stops him with her obstruction, yet she was unable to hold him for long. Now Saya chooses to utilize the brush in light of the fact that a standard individual can't enter Hinoa's hindrance. Yet Hinoa is from the white-haired lady's tribe. After this, Saya some way or another goes inside the hindrance and brushes Ushio's hair, where some more hair fills. Seeing this, Inadi comes to utilize brush, yet Ushio obliterates the hindrance abruptly. His eyes go on the brush and he promptly goes to get it, and yet Tora assaults him with his lightning power, during which this extension additionally separates. He then, at that point, salvages Inoa and Saya and says, "I surmise I will need to help you all out until Ushio is palatable again." Out of nowhere, Ushio goes to go after Hinoa, yet this time she was worn out, so she neglects to set up another obstruction. All of a sudden, June shows up and saves her from Ushio's assault. After this, the two of them utilize their power together and stop Ushio with their boundary. Now Hayama chooses to utilize the brush, yet the scaffold is broken and it seems as though it is going to fall, so they need to arrive as fast as conceivable. Now Hayama plans to go to Ushio, and after this the episode closes. Thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel.